What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of My Team Career Mode. Today we are here for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix here at season 3 of My Team Career, and we have chosen Fernando Alonso, our teammate, so it is his home Grand Prix, and we are hoping that in the upcoming laps of this race he is going to contribute to us in the team and gain some much needed constructors points here from the Spanish Grand Prix. So this is the setup which we'll be using here at this race. So we are just adjusting our setup so that we can have some stability in the corners, because obviously this track has some difficult corners, and if you hit a curb differently it will just get you into a spinella. So we have to be careful about the curbs in this circuit as they are quite unpredictable. But in the Q1 session we go P9, so we definitely have some good quali pace, and our teammate is in P17, so Alonso can definitely improve more in the upcoming races, and I'm hopeful that he can turn around the things a bit. As now in the Q2 session it is our first banker lap and we go P16, so I thought there is a lot of time to gain, and I went for another push lap with a new set of soft tires, because obviously we will not be using this tires in the race. But here at the last corner we just make a bit of mistake there, and which ruins whatever time we have gained, and we stay in P16. So I think a bit of mistake from me at the Q2 session which just led us to just be in the P16 position. So disappointing Q2 session, I would say, as it will be a dry race, so there is no need of any wet weather setups here at this race, as we do some R&D upgrades, and hopefully we will be just improving our car in the upcoming races, as we will be going in a hard to medium strategy. So let's see what we can achieve from here, as Lando Norris, Leclerc, Verstappen, Lance Stroll are in the top two row of the grid. So Stroll in the McLaren is making some good amends, as we are at P16 and our teammate is in P17. So it is 5 red lights and away we go for the start of the Spanish Grand Prix from here Barcelona. And it is a tentative start, as there was a lot of wheel spin and we were just finding it difficult to gain some traction, because obviously we are on the cold hard tires, and it will take some laps to just gain to the optimum temperature as we go around the outside at this turn 1 from an Aston Martin, and we are right behind the Williams, so we have to be careful, otherwise we might be ending losing our front wing, which we do not want at the first lap itself, as there can be some carnage with the other teams here, as everyone is just looking to gain some positions. So we have to be careful of that, as we are just behind our former teammate Drogovic. We just overtake him around the outside, but he uses his soft tire to great use and just stick it on the outside of this turn 4, but we managed to just go inside at this left turn, and fortunately we also did not get any damage. So I think I had a bit of contact with Schumacher, but fortunately it was not a big contact, so we just survive in the first lap itself. And now we are just following Schumacher, and you can see the presence of dirty air, as I had to just lift off the throttle, so that it was a lot of understeer movement, so we have to take that into consideration at the right turn also. And obviously we are also having the cold tires, and driving in cold tires at the Spanish Grand Prix is not a good feeling, I would say, because there is no grip at all and the back end just wants to just slip out, because the tires sometimes get locked up because of the coldness. And right now Lando Norris is still leading the Grand Prix, and let's see what the McLaren has in store, as they are obviously a contender for winning the Constructors Champion, as Mick Schumacher goes into the pits because he has some damage from the first lap itself. And here at lap 2 you can see that we are still just about 3 seconds behind Tsunoda, and there is a yellow flag in front of us. So I think some Aston Martin is going slow, yeah, and it is gone you Joe. So Joe gets DNF'd here at the Spanish Grand Prix in the lap 2 itself. So the Aston Martin still has some reliability issues, and it is unfortunate for Joe, because in the season 2 also he had many DNFs, as Latifi was just sending down the inside at this third sector, but we managed to stick on to our position, claim on to the position which we have now, because obviously Latifi is in the soft tires, so he'll be having much more grip and much more pace in the initial laps of this Grand Prix. So we have to be careful about that fact, as we are still in the hard tires and it is not a good tire to be in the lap 6. As the race progress we will be using the optimum temperature and get the most needed grip from these hard tires, as Latifi was just sending down the outside at the turn 1, but we just managed to stick on the inside curve and we make the move stick, and it will be a tussle between me and Latifi, because obviously he is having some good soft tires. As talking about soft tires, Carlos Sainz goes into the pits, so he started on the soft tires and now I think he will be putting on the medium tires. So let's see what Carlos Sainz can achieve from here, because obviously it is his home Grand Prix. So right now we are just thinking of maintaining our position, as Alonso is just behind us and he's giving too much of pressure to us. So now you can see in the start finish straight he's just trying to make an overtake around the outside, but we managed to stick our position down the inside at this turn 1 and make the move stick. So I was thinking that whether we should leave Alonso, but I was thinking that maybe we have the hard tires and we can last long and we can do some undercut or overcut depending on the situation, as Alonso was now thinking of going down the inside at this turn 1, and it is going to be a difficult race for us because we are just fighting with our teammate, and which is not necessary at this stage. But since Alonso is in his home Grand Prix, so I think he deserves a bit of racing, because obviously we are still the backmarker car, and if we just do not have some competition, then it will be difficult for us to grow as a team. So let us see what we can achieve from here, as we just go around the outside at this turn 3 of the Spanish Grand Prix around Alonso, and we make the most stick. So now Alonso and Latifi are fighting behind us, which is just giving us enough of time to go ahead, as Magnussen, Albon and some other cars are going into the pits. So they are obviously shifting from the soft tires to the medium or hard tires, as Alonso is just behind us. And again in the turn 1 you can see he's just trying to go down the inside at this turn 1, but we managed to go around the outside and stick to the position. So this is going to be a roller coaster of a Grand Prix, because obviously we're fighting with our teammate, and which is just making us lose a bit of time and also some tire wear. But still, it is fair racing and hard racing here at the Spanish Grand Prix, because everyone has the right to defend their position, and we just defend it like that as we go down the inside of Alonso and make the move stick. So it is hard racing here at Spanish Grand Prix, and this is what we play every weekend for, to get some racing experience for you guys. So let's see who comes across as the winner of this Spanish Grand Prix here at the Circuit de Barcelona, or Circuit de Catalunya. And so here at the lap 13, Alonso just tries to again go around the outside, but we've just managed to stick our position in the inside of this turn. So it is going to be a crazy Grand Prix, as Hamilton is now joining the party and is going around the inside at this turn 10, but we managed to stick on to our position by turning the outside into the inside of this turn, and Hamilton just backs off, at least for the time being. But still, Hamilton is obviously a powerhouse in the straight because of his superior Mercedes car, so he can just overtake us at any moment, and we have to be aware of the fact, and we cannot just defend for the whole race. But Lando Norris gets DNF'd here at the Spanish Grand Prix. So another Mercedes engine gets DNF'd. So previously it was Guan Yu Zhou, now it is Lando Norris. So let's see what is the reliability of this Mercedes engine, as we also have one of the Mercedes engines. So hopefully we will be surviving this race with no DNFs, fingers crossed. As right now Alonso was again thinking of making a move down the inside, and now Hamilton is just using his slipstream and DRS to good effect and trying to gain an advantage here at the turn 1 by making a move down the inside, but we just cover off the position. So I think for the other teams, the turn 1 is turning out to be a favorite spot for overtaking, and we have to be extra careful at that place, otherwise we might be losing our P9 position. So at the end of lap 16, Alonso goes into the pits, and now he'll be putting on a set of hard tires. So now let's see what Alonso can undercut us, because obviously he's undercutting, and I was thinking that maybe I can go to the pits at the end of lap 18 or 19, but as you can see Hamilton goes around the outside and makes the move stick. So it was a difficult overtake for him, but we still managed to control our position, but we still lose the P8 position to Hamilton, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is, because obviously his tires are much fresher and we are using 17 laps old hard tires, so we definitely don't have the grip of going around the inside at this first turn. As now Carlos Sainz joins the party, so he'll be just trying to send one down the inside, but we somehow managed to cover off the apex and make the move very difficult for Carlos Sainz. So now you can see that we are just going into the pits at the end of lap 19, and we'll be going to the set of medium tires. So because we are overcutting, so we have to get the much needed pace and just send it absolute send in the upcoming 13 laps, so that we can get back those P9 and P10 position. But I think this will be a difficult task, because obviously our tires are very cold at the start of this lap, because just we are coming out of the pits, and it will take some time and some corners to get the maximum position and the maximum temperature for the tire. As you can see, Alonso just eases past us around the outside, and we just have no answer for it, because obviously Alonso is in the optimum temperature tires of the hard compound, and he has the much needed grip, and we are still struggling with our medium tires, because it will take at least 2 more sectors to just gain our tire to the optimum temperature. And for that reason we are just very careful with our overtakes and just going through this curve at the turn 1, because it is a very difficult curve. So if you just hit the curve at a different angle, it will just send you into Spinella, which we do not want obviously here. So now at least 22 laps are over, and the final third of this race is remaining, and we have to gain as many positions as we can. And for that reason, we have to use the softness and the freshness of our tires to good effect, as we were just standing down the inside of Alonso here at this turn, but we couldn't get the much needed grip, and we also hit the curb which just unsettles our car. And here we just sent one down the inside of Alonso, had the turn 10 of the Spanish Grand Prix and make the mistake. And Alonso had no answer because obviously we had the fresh set of medium tires which has more superior grip, and we just made the mistake. And now Latifi is in front of us, so we are just trying to send one down the inside of Latifi, but again he just covers off the apex and we couldn't make the mistake. As here you can see Latifi is too slow, and we make again another lunge down the inside of Latifi and make the mistake. So in the sector 3 it is a very good overtaking spot, as Latifi was again thinking of going around the outside, where we just cover the apex and do not allow Latifi to overtake us. And as the laps progress, you can see we are just gaining too much of time from the cars behind of us. But again, it was too short of a Grand Prix, as Max Verstappen wins the Grand Prix and we finish in P13. So a good recovery drive, I would say, because we were losing too many positions at the start of the Grand Prix because of the hard tires, and gradually we again gained those position back, as Carlos Sainz gets the driver of 3 and Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Pierre Gasly are in the top 3 positions. So Alpine of Pierre Gasly has done a remarkable job to get into the podium. As we are still in the P14 of the Drivers' Championship, Williams of Alex Albon just moves ahead. So we'll have to fight hard to gain some much needed constructors points, as we are in P19 in the Constructors' Championship, as Williams and Haas just move ahead. So in the upcoming races, we have to gain some much needed points so that we can move ahead the Constructors' ladder, as we get some cash, and we'll be using some time to do some activities and some marketing department activities so that we can get some acclaim of the team and improve our facilities, because I was thinking that maybe we can improve upon the durability section of the department. So I think we will just upgrade one of the durability facilities of the build time so that we can improve our parts. So this was about the Spanish Grand Prix, and thank you guys for watching this video, and we will see you again in the next video, which will be at the Canadian Grand Prix. So hit like and do subscribe this channel for daily F1 22 content. Until then, peace.